Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here is a brand new thought for you today, a DVAR Torah, all about the first day of Chanuka. This is for Monday, the 7th day of December. Here we go. You know that when you read the story in Al Hanisim of what happened at the time of Chanuka, basically the story that you get is that there was this evil Greek king who was trying to get the whole Jewish religion basically obliterated, not the Jews, but their religion, and he went after them by making a whole bunch of decrees against them, and somehow, miraculously, through the help of God, a guerrilla warfare got going, made up of mostly just rabbis and holy special people who fought against a giant Greek army, and a small band of them managed to be victorious against a giant army. And it was Rabim biyad me'atim, the many in the hands of the few, Tmeim biyad tahorim, the impure in the hands of the pure, etc., etc. And we thank that God for the great miracle. And it's fascinating that at the end of the Al Hanisim it says, and then they went into the temple and they lit the menorah. Doesn't mention barely a bit about the great miracle of Hanukkah, with the menorah lasting for 8 days. It just says, and then they went in there and they cleaned up and they lit the menorah and they made an 8-day holiday of Hanukkah. Whereas when the Gemara tells the story, the Gemara pretty much stresses the other side of the story, which is not a whole lot of talk about the war, but the Gemara tells the story about the amazing thing of how one flask of oil lasted for 8 days when it was really only enough for 1 day. Now, I'll tell you the truth, the story that's written in the Al Hanisim is the one that kind of makes more sense. That's a giant victory, a giant miracle where just a small band of people were able to overtake one of the most powerful armies on the planet, or the most powerful army. That's a giant miracle, and I understand that, Al Hanisim, that makes great sense. But to celebrate Hanukkah for what seems to be just a cute little miracle, a flask of oil that lasted 8 days instead of one, why are we making such a big deal out of that? I don't doubt that it's a miracle. Of course it's a miracle. But it's not like, it doesn't seem like the size of miracle as powerful as the splitting of the sea, or, when Haman was about to annihilate us and really destroy us, and his plan was turned upside down. Those are things that really seem bigger. But for a little cute menorah to last 7 days longer than it should have, doesn't seem like it's as big in importance as the other miracles. And yet, the way we celebrate the holiday, everybody lighting a menorah seems to be like that little cute thing with the thing burning 7 days longer than usual is the thing that we stress and everything. And I wanted to just talk to you about why in the short time that remains, and here it is. You see, of course, it is a giant miracle that we won that victory. A small band of holy people fighting against a giant military. That, of course, is a giant miracle. But here's the thing. When God said, wow, I'm so impressed with the Jews, they could have lit the menorah in impurity, but they tried as hard as they could to light it in a pure way, and they just figured that they would pop in that oil and hope and pray and just do whatever they could to stay with purity. And God said, I appreciate that in such a great way that I'm going to show you a sign that I'm with you. And so, that little flask, when it burned for 7 more days, was God's way of giving a wink and a nod to the Jews. I'm with you, and I back you, and I'll help you every step of the way. I've helped you every step of the way, and I will continue to help you every step of the way. That is gigantic. That is really, really important to us, because when God gives us that pat on the back and says, I'm with you, and I'm here, and I'll help you no matter what, that bolsters us with a tremendous amount of strength. And when we light our menorahs, we're like mirroring back to God. Got the signal, God. I got it. And it's so incredibly important to us that you are with us, and because we would be nowhere without you. And so when you give us that signal, we mirror it back to you and say, got it, God. We're going to light our own menorah, also 8 days, and show you that we heard your signal, and we know that you're with us, and we know that we couldn't have succeeded without you. That, too, is just as important as the great miracle itself of the victory, because if we forget that point, that God is with us, and that's why it all succeeds, then we basically have nothing. And that's why we celebrate the menorah in such a great way. Thanks for listening. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.